good with it? Happy Friday, Lucky Lefty Podcast. The Onora boys are in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey. OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly.
That's
CFB
right.
Nation, that's where we reside. Presented by Twisted Tea.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hey, you too. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Audio edibles every day. You already know. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave your comments. We appreciate them all. We respond to all. Home of the Misguided Passion, Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Now, you all pray, LL Nation. Pray for my boy Malik. He's in Buffalo covering the game.
That's right.
The fighting Khalil Max.
Yeah, basically.
The fighting Khalil Max.
They actually call it linebacker U up there. They linebacker now. They got is he led the nation in tackles and all type of stuff. So crazy.
So we are going to get into some specific players and Al Golden, Jared Parker, some things they had to say. Left, LL Nation needs to pray because you are in Josh Allen land, bro.
Basically.
And you've been running your mouth a little bit.
I have, and I'm glad I'm here.
Okay.
I gotta stand on my square and let people know he's not like that.
Hey, stand on your square, bro. I just need you to make it back. Just need you to make it back home, bro.
I'm talking about off the plane. I done seen 5 Josh Allen jerseys, 5 of them. I'm looking around. Y'all know he's the worst quarterback in the league.
Not the worst. Not the worst.
I mean, him and who else played really bad like he did?
Kirk Cousins. But,
wait a minute, Kirk Cousins played a good game.
Yeah, after they were down 27-7.
They lost. They had the ball in their hands going in to win. You can ask for that.
Empty calories, bro. Empty calories from one Kirk Cousins. That cat Kirk Cousins is going to be on the trade block, bro.
What? But I think he got that guaranteed contract. Man,
say what?
He got another guaranteed contract coming right down the pipe.
No, this is the last year of his deal.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting a new deal after this year.
From who?
Minnesota not gonna let him go. He gave Justin Jefferson his best year.
I told you, Minnesota always wins every other year. I told you that. They are never consistently good.
It's only been what?
And you know the sad part? George Jefferson and Addison are going to put up crazy stats all year. They're going to put up crazy stats.
They're not going to get rid of Kurt if that happens.
And they're not going to win a darn thing.
If they go crazy, both of them, they're a playoff team. You don't even got them in the playoffs. The NFC is not even that great this year. You got Dallas, the Eagles, the 49ers. Other than that, NFC-wise, who you looking at? Nobody. It can be wide open.
Hey, man. It's not happening. I'm here to tell you.
I don't know who's going to make the playoffs outside of those 3 teams.
Not happening. That's all I have to say. They're 0-2 on the road to being 0-3 next week.
Who they play next week?
I think they play Dallas next week. Yeah.
Oh yeah, tough game.
I think they play I think they played that. No. I take that back. They play the Chargers.
That's winnable. That's winnable.
Their next
So,
three games: Chargers, Chiefs, 49ers. It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
now, Chargers, Chiefs, damn. They could. I can't see them pulling off one of these wins because I don't know who it would be against.
If they don't beat the Chargers, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Because that Chiefs 49ers,
Automatic L's.
mm-mm.
They might mess around and be 0-6 or 1-5 this next
That's what
couple
I've
games.
been. That's what I've been telling you. That's what
they can turn it around though. Because they
that's
still gotta play them Bears, they still gotta play them Lions.
well. They
Still gotta
play
play them
now.
Packers.
Once they get done with the 49ers, their next three, I think, they play the Panthers,
Oh, win.
the
Easy.
Panthers, the Bears, and then the Packers.
Oh, okay. So they backloaded. They get you the hard games early. Get you the ones you're supposed to win late. That's why they always end up 8-9 or 8-8 or
So,
something.
so they end up after those games, they probably end up like 3-6 or something like that.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, the division's wide open. It's wide open. Football outside of the 4 good teams right now is wide open. Everybody the same.
Mm-hmm. So this is a prediction show. Second half hour, we'll get to our predictions. It feels good for Notre Dame to be favored by like 34, 35 points, bro. And actually feeling like, oh, they're going to cover that. Like, they don't cover that. But this is requested last night as part of leftovers. We look at and view your comments after the show is over. And sometimes we say, you know what? Let's bring that back out. Some pretty good leftovers. Leftovers are all the food is always better than that. Man, that Thanksgiving
Spaghetti?
plate the day after,
Yeah.
man,
Plays bomb. That's why the refrigerator be filled up with tinfoil.
man, buy it.
And it's crazy because you're like, man, it didn't taste like this yesterday. It's like a whole new meal.
Almost like the
The flavors and seasoning set in just
got
right.
to sit and marinate a little
And
bit more.
Then they start touching the other foods, and then they start making new combinations. Yeah. Them leftover places.
So you cool with that? See, I'm cool with my foods touching.
I am.
And like getting a little mixture of taste every now and
my
then.
deviled eggs. I don't like when my deviled eggs is touching my food in my plate. I like my deviled eggs separate.
That now you are just like my little mama. Little mama can sit there and eat deviled eggs all day.
Oh yeah, they're delicacy. It's amazing.
All day.
You don't like deviled eggs?
Nah, I don't do deviled eggs.
But you do potato salad.
Now see, I don't do deviled egg. No, I'm not a potato salad fan either.
What?
I've had it, but I'm not like, yo, I gotta have potato salad on my plate.
Okay.
But
wow.
I love boiled eggs in my salad.
Oh, like a Cobb salad.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not against it, but it's just like it's not a must-have for me.
Man, it's a great touch to a plate though. You got your mouth watering, you got the plate in one hand, and they got the little finger foods and the deviled eggs, and you just walking by. Just pop one in real quick. Okay, that's solid. Get a couple on a napkin. Man, I'm telling you, it sets the meal just right.
That's kind of like that Central Michigan game. Right? It's like that little part of the schedule / plate that's touching like the main course that's coming up on September 23rd.
When your yams is touching your turkey, and you like, yeah, all right, you're getting close, but
yeah. I know what I want. So part of the leftovers, they wanted you to break down the film of Bear Backmeyer, brother.
Oh, I didn't like the options. I'll break it down.
From Marietta. So, hey, we give the people what they want, man. He's on campus this weekend, left.
See, you
And
even come on a bad weekend. At least Deuce Knight was smart and was like, I know this is the most watched game. I'm coming to Ohio State game just because I can get the ticket. That's smart. This Bachmeyer, 2,800 guys. Look like Ian Book.
hey man,
20.
just break down the film, man. You give it a chance, brother.
Okay, put on the money. That was actually pretty good, you know. I mean, yeah, I don't know about that one. I like that he has a quick release. I can say that. He get the ball out quick. It's not a long motion. I don't love him running, but he can
Mm-mm.
scamper. See, you don't call him a runner. You call him he scampers. He
Okay,
like,
boy, that's a 6'3", number 17 that can run. Reminds me of somebody from up there in Buffalo.
hell. I mean, he got some touch. I'm not really loving the running clips with this. Isn't that illegal? Or he's like literally throwing it behind himself.
Mm-mm.
Is it?
That's like a lateral. That's like an
Okay.
RPO lateral. Yeah.
Somebody got you gotta be careful. Somebody might hit you doing that.
Yeah, it is dangerous.
The only thing I don't like about tapes like these is that all you see is go routes and
What
trick
you
type of
know who used to do that a lot?
boom.
Uh, the kid from Auburn, the quarterback back in the day when they faced off against Florida State, he would always, run the option to the sideline, and the receiver would be right there. And if you came up on him, he would just throw it out to the receiver. Quarterback, what's his name? Number 14, that got Auburn to the championship.
Oh, Nick Marshall.
Nick Marshall.
I mean, you know, I just don't like a bunch of go routes on a film. You
Yeah,
know
you
what I mean?
really haven't seen touch and trajectory yet.
So maybe we're recruiting because he's semi-athletic, he can move around a little bit, got some good throws here and there. I just, he's not doing that on the next level. So half the tape is almost unrealistic. I like throws like that though. Like if I'm gonna see it go route, I need to see it going into the red zone. Um, I mean he looked pretty standard to me. I think because of his size, his athleticism points out a little bit more. But he doesn't look too fast. I like that he has a quick release, but a bunch of go routes. I don't know how much you can do with that. But he is athletic for his size. I wouldn't, if we're taking which athlete is a better athlete between him and Deuce Knight, I would probably be taking Deuce. But, that's just a preference. If that's what the trend of the offense is going towards, the athletic, mobile, run around type of guy, I would go with Deuce. But I mean, he looks like a little gamer, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, his tape is just too hard to really assess his skills, just because it's a lot of the same stuff. So you're gonna see a lot of go routes, see a lot of him running around doing the play action thing. But tape that how you should evaluate though, since we're on this, you should evaluate tape in a couple different ways, especially from quarterbacks. There's three things you gotta look for. You gotta look for a change of arm angle. If he can throw off platform and change and throw around, defenders being able to, sometimes even being flat footed and make throws, something similar to that. The second thing you want to look for is anticipation, and anticipation is more of a feel, is more of an instinct, but it's a defining quality of a quarterback, aka Tommy Reese. The reason how he made it to Notre Dame was alone, his anticipation had nothing to do with anything else. But with anticipation comes accuracy, and you got a chance to see uh, one of Tommy's best traits was that he was accurate because he had anticipation, but he threw a lot of picks, so it kind of comes with it. The last thing is the creativity. Now, this Bear Bachmeyer kid, I mean, he's got a little bit of creativity. He'll run around and make some plays with his feet. Is it the creative process enough that it will translate to college football or translate to Notre Dame? Probably not. He'll probably have more of a less defined running style at that point, only because he's so big that you're not running past nobody at that level. So you know you're gonna take some hits or whatever, but I think it's another. I think he's a decently good player. If that's the best they got in the class, then it's the best they got in the class. But I do think that keeping him on the radar, see how his recruitment goes, we'll figure out. I'm more concerned about what the recruiting Super Bowl we have versus Ohio State, and Deuce Knight's going to come. And I think that's a great opportunity to implant in his mind that this is where he needs to be because of how he sees himself in offense. Because you can do that with our team because Sam Hartman's only there for a year and he's executing it and dispersing the ball how he should. So if I'm Deuce Knight, I'm like, okay, I can see what the potential is with these guys supporting him. Vice versa, what is Bachmeyer going to get a chance to experience? You know, Central Michigan, everybody and their mama going to get a touchdown. You know, it's going to be hard to envision himself specifically, you know, in tight situations, especially in Central Michigan. It might get ugly in the first minute. It might get ugly fast. So you know, it's a bad game to go to. But
Might get rough for your boy Jim McElwain, bro.
I mean, you know, we're at a point where if we're doing 45 right now, 42, 45, 40, Central Michigan shouldn't be no different. Now, I do think that there's hiccups within seasons. You play a couple games really good, and then you go out there and get flat and score 28 points, right? I hope that's not the team we are, but at the same time, we should be able to do what we want to do out there and not score 40 plus points. I think it'll be a little easier than last week, but last week it was just an experience for us to play against a more traditional team. They're gonna come with something though.
Yeah.
They're gonna come with the maybe some motions or some trickum and dickums, some screens. You know, a team like that has nothing to lose, so you got to be prepared for a lot of the unknown. They might throw a flea flicker in there. They may give you something. So I think it's important that it's on defensive side of football. We play sound football, and sound football gets you to shut teams out because you're not trying to do somebody else's job. You're doing your own job.
Lucky Lefty podcast. You actually let that dude talk you out of leaving Notre Dame, bro.
No, it was because of Charlie Fry, man. That was like my guy.
Yo, Charlie Fry was decent when he was a quarterback, bro.
Super decent, and
He was decent.
I always call him Yoda because he's like the football Yoda. He just be knowing, you know. And I learned there's not that many coaches in the college football space that know certain information to help quarterbacks get better. It just, you know, a lot of it comes from guys that come from the tree of like an Andy Reid um, or a Kyle Shanahan. So or Mike Holmgren. You know, Charlie Fry had a really close relationship with Mike Holmgren, who was a great coach in my opinion. And Mike Holmgren, you know, had a lot of things that he did that taught me a lot. That, you know, from Charlie Fry teaching me to be prepared, how to prepare week to week, what to look for, how to study film, you know, certain plays that are common, how they're really supposed to be ran, like four verticals that everybody and their mama runs is really meant for a clear out for the back to be one-on-one with the linebacker. He showing me different things on clips. You know, I mean, this is a real, for my experience, it was really awesome because I'm a football junkie. I love learning about the game. And so if I could put the other half of playing with it, I mean, we'd be speaking, you know, big money. But Yeah, Charlie Fry is the reason why Jim McElwain is hanging around like he is in college football, just because, I know Charlie Fry is going to give us something we probably haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
It may be effective early until we figure it out. So it's kind of one of those games. It's like, yeah, we know we're going to win. But once we get them figured out, it'll be fine. But they might hit us with something that's like, we haven't seen it
No,
before.
I'm telling you, when I got a chance to watch them against Michigan State in the opener, they had Michigan State.
Yeah, that's Charlie Fry. Charlie Fry gonna know how to mix you up, now when they get
You know,
better players, they'll be a better. It'll be way harder to beat.
yeah.
But you can only get so much at Central Michigan. So yeah, I do believe that they're gonna give us their best shot, like most teams do in the beginning, and it's not gonna be so of a overpowering. We losing our one on ones. It's gonna be just like scheme and plays and things that we were probably seeing on film, and they do it a little bit differently. It's just
Yeah.
that's the type of coach this is in Charlie Fry. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them score 14 and a half just because the what they got put together and all of that. I can
Oh,
see them.
if they put up, dude, the post game show is going to be apocalyptic. If Central Michigan puts up 14, oh, I already know Notre Dame fans gonna be like, oh my God, Al Gold, what is he doing? What? Oh, I told you, JD Bertrand being out, just oh my God, dude,
Yeah, yeah,
it's so. Navy had opportunities to put up points, but they didn't.
yes. Navy did. Navy
Right?
really did.
North Carolina State had opportunities to score more points. It's amazing that, and maybe that's one of the things about this defense. This defense has played really well, but teams have had opportunities to put points up. Tennessee State had opportunities to put more points up early in that game. So it's really about, you know, which I think is one of the improvements. And we were really hard on Al Golden about this because this was his strength, according to Marcus Freeman, which is
Right.
situational football. I think Notre Dame, especially in the red zone, has been so much better
Yeah.
at situational football this year. And that leads to keeping points off the board the majority of the time. But oh man, I don't know, man, if they put up 14 points early or by halftime, Notre Dame fans will lose their mind. They will lose their mind. Like,
But they should preference themselves to the fact that they got a good coach. A good coach gonna put you in positions to win. Maybe not. Now you got to bring your half, which is the talent and the execution. But from a setup standpoint, they're gonna give us something that in a different light with a different team and a different speed. It might cause us some issues because that's just the eggheadness of how they operate over there. So I do believe we'll win, obviously. I do think though that they're gonna have something for us, and Al Golden being who he is, a great adjuster at times.
first of all, Al Golden is going to be aggressive.
Yes. Oh, I mean, come on, get them off the field early. This is a team that shouldn't be in there with us. So making those plays that we need to is and Marcus Freeman's probably got to preach a lot of discipline this week, not overlooking your opponents. And I mean, we've been doing a great job of smashing who we need to smash. 24-7 against Navy is just not acceptable. That thing got to be pumped up a little bit.
Navy looked decent against Memphis last night. I
And it
didn't
came
watch it.
down to a last play. I know I
Yeah,
saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. But that's what their offensive scheme can do. If you don't get them out of there early, they're gonna just be clawing their way back. And next thing you know, you in within striking distance because they just done wore you down. You done messed around and got a couple three and outs. Now you looking like, oh shoot, we got to score to win. And
yeah,
the Memphis player made a great play on the last play of the game, and it's funny because the ref gave him a terrible spot. I'm like, I
yeah.
know you're not about to get that man no first down. It was clearly tackled behind the line, and he gave him a first down to the point the chain didn't even get to the ball.
I don't know. I don't know which call was worse, that call or the call in the Eagles Vikings game when they said Justin Jefferson didn't get in.
Yeah, so what did you think about that? When they did the slow-mo, it's like he got in, he crossed the plane.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know what the discussion was
absolutely.
about,
It was a touchdown. It was a
I guess
touchdown.
what they say he didn't fall down with it or something, but that's contradictory to the main rule is if it crosses or touches the plane, you're good. They tried to act like he was, I guess, catching it and making a football move like the Dez got it catch. So I don't know. But that was a terrible, terrible call. Probably, but it is a call that, looking back, changed the game because they would have been tied up if that was the case.
Call was horrible. Lucky Lefty podcast. So you look forward to this game, and we talked about it being like the plate, right? And the food is touching, and North Carolina State touches Central Michigan, and Central Michigan touches Ohio State. And you try to realize, like, how does this all come together to be a scrumptious meal? And for me, you want to be healthy, number one.
Yeah.
Right? But this is the game that I want to see the wide receiver core get loose.
Yeah. It's prime.
Right? Like
Definitely
Notre
prime.
Dame.
We could have a game where we got 4 receivers for 100 yards. I believe that. I think Sam got them. JT get 100. Tobias get 100. Chris Tyree get 100.
Mm-mm.
And then Jaden Greyhouse get 100.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you said we wouldn't throw it enough? We can do that.
I don't see, first of all, I don't see the attempts. They would have to hit 3 or 4 explosive plays.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Chris Tyree would have to get a big one. Tobias would have to get a big one. Jaden would have to get a big one. And it would have to be because he's Sam Hartman. I just don't see him having that many attempts.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't want to give him too many attempts to where he out there making mistakes and throwing picks. But the running back room has demanded, commanded, and needs the football, and it's been a great equalizing effect for us because teams have to put so much energy into stopping the run and worry about our rotation, worry about our depth, that you can't worry about everything in the game, and that's where our Sam Hartman has been able to be very effective working the football down the field in spots that
Yeah.
teams giving us run defensive looks, and he's taking the one-on-ones. He's finding open man, and the best part is he's not quick to leave the pocket. Ian Book, Shaun, Brandon, Tyler Buckner,
Yeah.
not Jack Cohn, but Tyler Buckner. They were too ready to leave the pocket. That's a poise thing.
Yeah.
Sam will go back
Shout out
there.
to the news that broke this morning from the 247 Alabama site that Tyler Buckner will be the starting quarterback this weekend.
Yep.
And hey, nothing but the best. Him leaving Notre Dame was the best thing that happened to this team this year.
Hey,
The fact that he decided to leave, man.
Your absence, we got better, and we appreciate that. Now, I mean, he's really playing with house money down there in Alabama. House money. Your coordinator brought you in. I told you Saban was like, you better play Jalen Milrose until they got embarrassed. Then Tommy went back in his office and was like, I told you so. Let me play my dude, Tyler Buckner, see how it go. Because I can't coach Jalen Milrose. He doesn't hang with the right people. Whatever. Hey, he knew it. And he knew it. So I think it's gonna be funny because you're gonna see Alabama.
I'm dead.
And I'm gonna point it out
You
because it's
you
gonna be.
been you have been waiting to boy, you have been waiting.
I can't wait for the game. You know why? Because you're going to see a totally different Alabama team. They're going to put up way more than the points they put up in the last game. And people are going to be like, oh, it must have been Jalen Milroe's fault. And I'm already telling you, it's not Jalen Milroe's fault. Alabama might score 40 points this weekend. And y'all going to be
Oh
like,
man.
that's what the issue was. No, it was not. The issue is with the coordinator. Because you're going to be like, why wouldn't we running all these plays with and they're gonna scapegoat it. Oh, Tyler Buckner's his guy. He's been with him for years. That's his guy, man. That's his guy. Jalen just put him back at receiver. You know they're gonna do him dirty. They're gonna do him dirty. Anyways,
So if he's back a receiver, then he would probably be hanging with the right people then.
exactly. And watch him catch the ball. You're gonna be like, he did the damnest thing. He gonna be Alabama lead
Oh
receiver.
my God. Oh my God. Lucky Lefty podcast. Oh, Left, you have been waiting
Been
months
waiting.
to
I'm telling
drop.
you.
Oh boy. Woo.
Yeah, man. So it'll be interesting. I do
Overtime.
wish
Overtime, eventually that full story will come out.
it's got to. It's
It
got
it
to.
will come out and
Let
people will
Alabama lose a couple
understand.
more games. I promise you. You're gonna see all type of stories. You're gonna have Phil talking stuff in a minute, you know. Phil will be talking about Alabama. He'll be like, Phil, why are you talking about Alabama? You at Pitt. I just had to get this off my chest. You know, I just had to talk about this. They doing bad. It's time to jump on them. But shout out Tyler Buckner, man. You get a fresh start with a really good team around you. I mean, hell, how do you fail upwards, right? In a lot of cases, from the sense of, now you playing behind guys that are, you got four of them starting in the league. Think about that. So, I mean, it's good motivation for a guy like Tyler Buckner to go in there and try to revive a dead offense in a sense, because, I mean, them boys look like they ain't never been to practice. But then again, this ain't the place Tyler Buckner to be turning the ball over either. Saban ain't putting up with that. So there's got to be some decision making improved. Hopefully he's gained down there, and he's wearing 8. So if you're wearing 8, you got to be great. TB8, to be determined 8. USF, I covered them 2 weeks ago. They're not a bad team, so don't act like you know they just gonna be running all over USF because USF isn't bad.
You get
It-
Jalen Milroe having to go up against Texas, and then you're gonna just give Tommy USF.
yeah,
Like
they're gonna score a whole
that's
bunch of points, and you're gonna be like,
right.
"What the hell?" But I'm telling you, it's not Jalen Milroe's fault. It's not, and it's messed up that they would do that, and then bring in the guy they kind of quote unquote wanted, and he shines. Like that's just the politics of college football, how they do people dirty sometimes. Because they probably knew if they rolled out Tyler Buckner against Texas, and he looked like the Jalen Milroe instead of the Jalen Milroe that was out there, it would just be
Hey,
all. It would be all
look,
bad.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Oh man, I'm still stuck. Dude, that was perfect comedic timing, bro.
For real.
That was perfect comedic timing. You dropped that perfectly, and
Man, you know it's coming, man.
still left enough meat on the bone for it to be a mystery. That
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a
oh
little.
man, that man, Lucky Lucky podcast. I, Doma Wap put in a statement and said that his wife says that he's usually hungry after he watches our show, and it's probably the food analogies. It
Hey, we got
probably
him.
is.
We got him.
It probably is. See, Left and I, where we do see each other, it's out in LA,
Oh, I'm in
and
Chicago next week. Gotta come and see. I gotta go to NIU though. How far is it?
DeKalb is like an hour 15 west of
That's
Chicago.
not bad.
Yeah. I used to, man, I'm out in the South Birds, and I used to hit 355 straight across the 88,
It's right there, straight
like
shot.
like nothing. I don't know how I didn't end up with a ticket
And
because I
Pop
was,
was like, "Nah, let him go. He
bruh,
goes too damn fast."
and this was like, you know how your sisters come home for a weekend, it's Sunday night, and then you're leaving at like 10
Late.
o'clock at night to
Yeah,
get
you
them
just trying
back
to get
for
back. I'm
money.
just trying to get
Nah,
back.
I'm 95. 95 straight across 355 to 88.
Yeah, like it's nothing. Now, how far is that from the airport? NIU from the O'Hare?
Mm, it
Because O'Hare
depends.
is like in the city, right?
For your Uber driver or for me?
Well, getting the rental.
For me, or if you're getting a rental, you will probably get there in like an hour 15.
Oh, okay, not bad. You get some
Less than that,
Harold's or something.
I'll take that. Because you're gonna hit 294 coming back south to 88, and it's gonna be 88 straight across. And from Oak Brook, it's probably like, yeah, a little bit over an hour drive, about an hour 15. Out, not a bad drive.
Yeah.
Hour 15. So you got
Because Northern Illinois in the boondocks, right? It's like
hey, yeah,
nothing.
now it is in the boondocks. It is all farm. It is all farm. But let me tell you something, dude, because you do coach meetings. You know how coach meetings go, right? Different
Yeah,
coaches, they can give you something. Some are funny. You
they do
know,
be funny. Some of them be funny
hey,
acting. Like,
Coach Hammock is one of the funniest coaches I've ever interviewed, bro.
oh, for real? Okay,
And
you can hear.
Coach Hammock is hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna give you something.
Okay, that's
He's
good. That's as
definitely
long as
going to
somebody
give
give
you
a
something.
story or something, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, we good. I'm back in I'm in the streets.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
back in
yeah.
these Chicago streets.
They've been chatting about him.
Oh man, we might hit up the Moxie next weekend.
Okay.
Man, after the game, go downtown, hit up the Moxie, or either hit up the Pizza Parlor Bar,
That sound like right up my alley, man.
which is a big hit downtown Chicago now.
Oh, it's like
Um,
the Friday night spot. Go to the pizza parlor.
yeah, they did a great job with the concept. They really did.
Mm.
They
Oh,
really
it's a
did.
bar for
It's
real,
a bar, but it's
but a
like a
pizza
pizza
bar.
joint.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like high end.
High
It's
end pizza.
it's
Okay, okay. Like you
the
dressing
vibe.
up to
The
go.
vibe is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the pizza joint. You think it's showbiz pizza kids. No, that's a grown adult
Oh, like you gotta put on a
pizza
nice
joint.
shirt.
Uh, I mean,
I
you
mean,
know.
just for the vibe. The vibe, you know.
Hmm.
You just ain't walking in there in no J's
You're right.
necessarily.
Yeah, it's gonna. You will see some windmills on your drive out there.
Windmills.
Yeah,
Yeah, you in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere.
yeah. It's definitely gonna mess you up. And this weekend is this weekend for me. When I used to work, our studios, ESPN, are in the ABC building, which is at the corner of State and Lake.
Mm.
So tonight or this weekend is Mexican Independence. So
In the,
in Chicago,
wait,
it, it's
wait.
Mexican Independence weekend.
Mexican people or the country
The country, which is
in
totally
America?
different. Yeah, which is totally different from Cinco de Mayo. It's totally different.
How do
It's
we
an actual
celebrate
holiday.
Mexican independence in America? How that happen?
No, Mexicans celebrate.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, got it,
I
got it,
you
got
know I
it.
don't sell Mexicans in Chicago, which is a huge community,
It is, huh?
right outside of downtown, right there in Pilsen, and that's pretty much where a lot
Yeah.
of them stay. And dude, tonight, all night, they drive around downtown Chicago with their flags hanging out of their car. All
Oh, they
night.
for real.
Oh, all night. All night. And this is the thing. if you take a step back and watch, it's actually kind of dope.
Oh, they come out in the low riders and stuff too, or they
Low
just
riders, trucks. It's actually kind of dope if you take a step back. Now it's annoying because it adds to the traffic,
and then mariachi music probably
and
annoying
it's
too.
it's crazy, and they're honking their horns all night and all that, you know. And but if you take a step back, it's kind of, you know, it's like, okay, that's what's up. That's
Oh,
up.
I mean, they going all out. Sound like
Hey, it is what it is. Lucky Lefty podcast. It's one of those things that if you were here that weekend, you would be like, yo, what is this? Because downtown is extra lit.
mm.
Just extra lit.
Don't you got a lot of migrants anyway? Y'all got a migrant problem right now,
Ah,
or is it more on the news, or do you actually see like who are these?
well, put it like this. It's a recent problem, but I don't think it's anywhere near the homeless problem in LA.
Yeah, the homeless problem in LA is
A
crazy.
homeless problem in LA is yo,
Yeah,
yo,
it's but it's
bruh.
like damn, everybody is a step away from that. Hell, I'm a step away. Miss a payment on a car or something. I'm right with them. Gotta think about moving back home, guys.
It is. It's bad. It's bad. And the migrant problem is really about. Here it is, bro.
What's the
You,
neighborhood that's complaining about? It's the black neighborhood that's complaining because they
no,
trying
it's
to.
not just. It's not just the black neighborhood. It's several aldermen in the
Mm.
city, west side, south side, because they want to take a mall on 115th and Halsted on the south side and kind of make that a tent city on the
Oh yeah,
south
hell no.
side and use the inside. Yeah, it's
You know they don't. You know good and well them people are not trying to allow that to happen.
and it's one thing to give them a place to live, but then if they don't have work and things to do,
It's gonna add to the problem
and
already.
then things spill over into the neighborhood, and then you probably have to worry about
Thieves and all type of.
yeah, gang friction, and it's a problem for the new mayor.
It's invasive.
It's,
It's an invasive problem though, because like
but a
you,
lot of people are upset because they're pouring considerable amounts of money into the situation. I'm talking about considerable
to
amounts of money.
house them, not even to give them,
Yes,
just to house them, just to put them up
yes,
somewhere.
yes. You know, so he has that. He still has this.
The
He's
the
still the
thieving problem.
robberies. The
Yeah,
robberies
thieves,
going on
thieves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
on the north.
shootings.
Yo, it's
But he's real funny about his crackdown on the gun violence and the thieving. That's interesting because I'm like, you ain't as hard as you would think that you would be on some of this nonsense. So it's just
mhm.
hope he don't turn out to be like Mayor Adams, Eric Adams out of New York. He talking about y'all need to move in with him. Every family should take a couple.
So
Damn.
man. Before we get to Notre Dame, and this is, I don't do it a lot, but in about 5 minutes when we transition, I'm going to give you I told you so.
Mm.
I'm going to give you I told you so. It's coming up. Lucky Lucky Podcast. Colorado State and Colorado. Jay Norvell speaks out on Deion Sanders. His sunglasses. I don't know if you saw first take today.
Nitpicking,
No,
nitpicking.
no, no. Let me tell you the genius of Deion Sanders, bro. Do you realize in the last 2 days that he has created a sunglass brand, bro?
Oh, he actually created one out of the
Yes, he created a sunglass brand, gifted the entire team.
with his shades.
Went on first take this morning because first take was in Colorado. Gifted Stephen A. and Molly and Shannon, the shades,
Mm.
and had them wear the shades as they interviewed him, and then revealed the website for pre-orders left.
Oh yeah, marketing genius. And
Marketing genius, bro. And
he
then
tried to sell.
then looked into the camera and said to all the top recruits, "I ain't hard to find." I said, "Come on, man." I said, this dude got a cheat code. Like,
Yeah, he making it too easy now. It's
this dude is cheating right now.
and everybody playing into it too. They playing into it because conventionally, they get enough people to hate on him, he'll calm down. He just so happens to have a great quarterback, so he can talk his stuff. Shador ain't no slack.
So,
So
man, look, they're playing late too.
10
It's like
o'clock.
it's 9 o'clock Eastern. It's like a 7 o'clock kickoff out there,
They
something like
want
that.
that's past prime time.
Yeah,
That's a Saturday Night Live time.
yeah. It is Graham Mertz. Man, first of all, this matchup of Florida is
LSU. Or yeah.
no, LSU plays Mississippi State this week.
I mean LSU Florida versus Texas. No.
Well, no.
Florida versus it's a big man. Tennessee. Florida
Yes.
versus Tennessee. Graham Mertz, man. I'm tired of seeing him on TV.
Look, man, I'm sorry. This is the failed Big Ten quarterback game. This is the failed Big Ten quarterback game. And one of these bad fellas has to win. They have to win.
Yeah, one of them got to win.
I can tell you one thing, though. The way it's going, that cat Nico might be in the game week 5.
You don't like Joe Milton?
Do you like Joe Milton or what you've seen?
What are they? They 2-0 right now. I don't think anybody worse than Graham Mertz, so he can't be worse than that dude. That dude is a worse Daniel Jones, Josh Allen category for me. But watch him find his way in the league and hang around for 9-10 years. He'd be a Nate Peterman, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the battle of the failed Big Ten quarterbacks. Look, if Joe Milton slip up at all, they got to play that $8 billion man behind him. They got to. What are they expecting the return on that to look like? How do you get a return off of that?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one thing, though. If you're in the Chicago area, you can watch the Nerd Classic as Duke comes to town to face Northwestern.
Northwestern ain't been the same since.
Northwestern shocked me last week the way they played, bro. Because I thought when they as well as they played last week, I was like, okay.
But they didn't win though, did they?
Yeah, no, I think Northwestern. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're 1-1. They won last week. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, Illinois lost last week. They lost to
Oh, I mean, they played Kansas and Jalen Daniels.
But Kansas ain't bad. They got enough guys. They got experience. A quarterback from California, he's pretty good. Jalen Daniels, man, but I still don't know when it comes to development. Kansas did a good job development wise with what they're doing because they haven't been. They're like a Kansas. I mean, a Colorado. Ain't nobody been talking about them for longer than Colorado, in my opinion. But they're finding a way to win, and that's what happens when you have good quarterback play. Jalen Daniels.
It's interesting you say that when you talk about Jalen Daniels because Jalen Daniels might be one of those guys you look at in the portal.
Oh,
If you want to,
100%.
if
Because
you want to go,
they're messing around with him playing they got this two quarterback system. He's clearly the better
him
one.
and what was that? Nick Bean. You got
Yeah,
the Nick
whatever that
Bean
is.
kid.
So Jalen Daniels at Notre Dame would look amazing because he's a good enough kid. You know, the talent is there. And you got to remember, it's not even about we need a guy to be like Bryce Young. No, no, no.
Let
We
me
don't need
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. This came up this morning. You know, Caleb Williams' dad has been on record talking about he might not leave. If you're Shador, knowing that Drake May and Caleb are already 1-2, would you stay knowing you would be the number one quarterback next year?
man. I think Shador should go to Atlanta. That's why I
Because
think he should go. So
that
wherever
that
Atlanta falls, that's where
but that
Shador should go to.
that NIL money in Colorado is nice.
He ain't. What could he? He couldn't be making more than his first contract.
What do you mean? That dude has like a Mercedes Benz NIL deal. Dude, Shador rake is raking it in, my brother.
Shador will be making 20 mil his first year.
Shador don't want it. Shador, you don't want to go to Atlanta, dog.
No, they got Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts.
You
Those are
don't want to do
two
that.
great players.
You don't want to do that.
Oh, and Drake London. Oh, come on, they got a squad.
They do have some skill positions.
They got some. I don't know about the O line. You know, I don't know about that, and I definitely don't know about defense. But they Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan. That's not a bad trio. Not a bad trio. But I love the fact that it's heating up, and these crucial games are coming up. Next week you got Colorado versus
No, they got
SC,
Oregon. They got
Oregon,
Oregon first, and then
us versus O State.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of these games we're gonna see who's really real
Yeah,
coming into the year because these fluff games got everybody head inflated.
facts.
Everybody's super hype over these fluff games, but now the Giants got to play the Giants.
Yeah, James Franklin and his crew travel down to Champaign to prove whether or not they are real. They take a step up in competition. I am not.
Penn State kind of nice too this year,
Yeah,
but they
I am.
always fail me by the end of the year.
Yes,
Always.
I am not impressed with Brett Bielema and his defense. Um,
But
I'll leave it at
he an
that.
offensive dude. He gonna run that football.
I'll leave it at that. The big game. The big game. If you think North Carolina got after your boy, the Bulldogs they really about to get after your boy as Georgia takes on
Spencer.
South Carolina.
Now Spencer
Hey,
Owen won. Spencer Owen won. They trashed him last year, but Spencer Owen won. He got a better feel for it. I don't believe that uh, Georgia's offense is as potent as it was last year. They still got that man Brock, and he's nice.
mm,
But we haven't heard too much from him either, just like Marvin Harrison Jr., because they got nobody to throw it to him. So I do think it'll be a better opportunity for Spencer to put up more points and make it a game because
hmm
he's better than Carson Beck. Like we know that. What made it hard last year was that not only was the defense whooping him, but Stetson Bennett was going crazy too. So it'll be a battle of Spencer one. You got the advantage. You at home. You healthy. The O line didn't do great, but the defense that you're playing against isn't the defense of the last 2 years. They're good. They ain't the last. I mean, them last 2 years they had. I don't think anybody would have did that well. I mean, CJ did well. Bryce did okay. But that's 1 and 2 in the draft.
hmm
That's a whole. It's like all the quarterbacks in college football. It took the 1 and 2 pick in the draft to make it look competitive. And out of the 3 games that they played, the 1 and 2 quarterback, they're 2-1 versus the 1 and 2 quarterback. They 2-1 versus the best that college could offer at the position. So yeah, you can't. What do you want Spencer to do? He might be a top 10 quarterback this year.
Hey, all I know is Had the ice tub ready after the game, my brother.
He got to stop taking them shots. But Spencer not super athletic,
That
so
offensive line couldn't stop North Carolina's front seven, and it's a different beast coming for you this week.
super different.
Hold up, where's that game at? Ooh, it's between the hedges. Ooh,
Yeah, it's in South Carolina
no, it's at Georgia.
again. How they get 2 home games?
It's at Georgia, my brother.
Yeah, I don't know. Then I could have swore they played in Georgia last year, or they just made that look like a home game because they really whooped up on that boy last
It's
week.
at Georgia, brother.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
That just changed the game right there. But Spence got the best talent in the country, like just pure throwing the football. Spence, nobody's better than Spencer. So he just got to be able to get time to put it out there.
Marcel has, before we transition, this is a pretty good question. Will anybody go undefeated this season? This might be a season where, because the
Hey, the
Pac
college
12,
football
the Pac
committee's last
12,
hurrah. They gonna try to the committee's last hurrah, and they
the
gonna do some
Pac 12
crazy.
is definitely going to beat up on each other. The SEC does not have, to this point, a dominant team.
Hell, the SEC's bottom half is trash. Bottom half tier teams, your Vandy's, your Mississippi State's, your Ole Miss is. Oh, didn't the Ole Miss just lose?
Mm-mm.
Who am I thinking that lost? Because the
Ole Miss was
SEC.
down at halftime to Tulane and then ran them cats in the second
Oh,
half.
right. I must
That
be
cat
thinking
Jackson
first.
Dart came out in the second half and just ran them.
Dart, man, yeah, crazy.
Just ran the dudes. Ole Miss has a big game this week. I think they play Alabama next week.
Mm. Alabama don't got no easy schedule, but since Texas got better, they facing the gauntlet early. But that's why they probably won't, you know, to see Alabama in a top 10 spot is like, oh, that's a hard drop off from 1 to 10. And it was crazy because they probably wanted to drop them lower because of how they played. But they was like, all right, we love Saban too much. We can't knock Saban that far back. But it's not much Saban can do. You locked in this whole quarterback quandary because I don't believe Tyler's gonna be the answer. He'll last a couple games and then he's gonna get hurt, or they're gonna be like, well, he ain't pulling through enough. You can't have Jameis Winston style picks.
Facts.
It's just not enough. I don't think Saban's gonna like that. And they're gonna cycle through at least 4 guys this year. At
Facts.
least. Because not
Don't
all, I mean,
go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
kids are solid.
Yeah,
Ty Simpson and Dylan Lonergan.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like, man, those are just guys that are unproven. So
yeah.
you're really in a position. Nick Saban's probably like banging the table about it. He's got a bunch of guys with no experience.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you would have thought Saban would have went in the portal and at least tried to grab somebody that's got some experience. He got grabbed Tyler Buckner, who what experience is that? It couldn't have been much
Hey,
if he didn't start the first game. So it's like, damn, like you got 3 guys that got less than 3 games in combination with each other. So they're gonna be
yo,
battling that all year.
yeah, yeah. LSU is shaky. Uh,
They came out and played flat, looking like a Notre Dame team.
LSU is looking like a Brian Kelly team. Like,
Yeah, that's right. Looking like a Notre Dame led, a Brian Kelly led Notre Dame team. They
let's
came out
see.
and was like getting ran over. When have you ever seen LSU just get ran over like that? I mean, the running back was like pushing dudes out the way, smacking babies and flipping
Bro,
cars. I mean, they made dudes look crazy.
they early on, their defense was struggling against Grambling last week.
Mm,
Grambling was busting, the running backs were busting like 50 yarders. I'm like, yo,
that's unlike LSU team.
I told you they were soft in the trenches, boy.
No, you did. You did. But shoot, you
Uh,
can't be.
An- Andres Nieto. What do you think about Greg McElroy's comments about our D line? I thought they were fair. I don't know what he said,
I can assume that he says something to the
but I
effect that they
mean,
don't got no stars, but they work hard, type of thing.
yeah, Malik has been saying that, and I have echoed those sentiments and said, based upon what he has, Al Golden has chosen to be aggressive because he knows he doesn't have a D line that can just literally sit there.
No,
He
we
doesn't.
definitely
His
gotta.
tackles, he has a 285. Hal Cross has played phenomenal. He's 285.
Yeah, we're not
Riley,
just lining up and just bench pressing and locking out. No, we
yeah.
doing some things, moving, gap,
Riley Mills is 300. You know,
barely
Jordan Botello is small.
275
Stephon,
maybe.
yeah. So, I mean,
Jason
this
Onye only about
290, 295.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. We looking like Stanford's O line last. I mean D line last year. Them boys is averaging 285 across the D line.
Oh, he said they
But
need more. He said they need more sacks. You know what? My Greg McElroy is a genius. That was genius. Oh my God, that's brilliant observation. The Notre Dame defensive line needs more sacks. No kidding.
no kidding.
No kidding.
No kidding. We said we are not going to have the production of a single sack leader this year. It's just not us. But we'll have guys that'll pop one game, and some guys will pop the other game, and some guys will pop this game. But as a unit, though, our scheme and what we do, we can make up for it, and we can play well that way. Finding a way to get turnovers and sacks is a whole nother level to it. And I think it's gonna have to come from individuals at some point in the season where they just like, I'm turning it on.
Man, isn't it crazy? Like, I feel like we just can't get right. After years of having a defensive line and a suspect secondary,
Yeah.
now we finally get a secondary that's
That's top down.
top notch, and the D line is like,
It's just whatever. It's just whatever. It's not even like where they're bad. They're not I'm not calling them bad. It's just they're just whatever. They're just I'm not gonna say they just out there, but can't say they playing bad, but they ain't making an impact to be like, yeah, they need to be watched out for. And it's okay because you know why? Our linebackers have gotten better. So that does complement the D line to where they only have to do enough to make havoc because our linebackers have shown that they can make up for those plays in the back end.
it is. I mean, we don't disagree with his opinion, but I mean, he just didn't say anything that we haven't been saying all summer. It's like he didn't have some grand revelation like we
You probably
said
looked
that.
at the stat sheet. The stat sheet said we got like what 2 sacks and three
Yeah,
two.
we said
But
that
he's not
about the
considering
defensive
the fact
line.
that we played Navy the first game and all this. You know, we ain't play a traditional team, so we playing teams that's that. How you gonna get a sack? Where's Navy?
I
You
think
know,
last week, if I'm not mistaken, they were pressured like Brennan Armstrong was pressured like 16 times, and Notre Dame only ended up with one sack.
not good enough. Not good enough.
We talked about it last week. Like why Al Golden is aggressive with his safeties and his linebackers. He knows he does not have a, a front four. He knows that he doesn't have a front four that can just sit there and go after the quarterback. He just doesn't have that.
So you have to supplement that with overly aggressive and talented linebacker play, which we've addressed in recruiting. We retained our veteran guys at linebacker, which
Yes.
have, the lights kind of turned on over there. They've been able to rally in a better support than last year, but I mean, that's not saying much. We haven't quite been tested to where if it actually worked or not. Like Maris ain't had to really run after nobody yet. So we'll know obviously going in the Ohio State game, but it's a reason why our secondary has gotten stronger, and it looks like we're moving more towards making the front stronger last. We started making the back end stronger, then the linebacker stronger. Now we're gonna do the D line, but losing Keon Keeley, I think it would have been huge for us to get him because he probably would have added some bright spot to a D line that's just unsuperstarred. Like we have no superstars on the D line, which is it's rare. We've always had one dude that was a marquee D line in some aspect, but now not having one.
Now I'll say this. Because I see comments or people that disagree or didn't like what Greg. I didn't hear what Greg McElroy said, so I'm just going by what Andre said. He said, but we said Notre Dame from a sack standpoint would struggle because there is no dominant pass rusher per se.
Right.
They're waiting for someone to come forward. Yeah, we said that all summer, so that's no shock to us. The sack numbers at this point aren't a shock to us. I don't know about what they're being asked to do, but if you're a defensive end on this team, you're not being asked. Your job is to sack the quarterback in passing situations. You're not being asked not to sack the quarterback.
No.
Jordan Botello was being asked to sack the quarterback.
Go
Jalen
get
Smith, when he comes off the edge, is being asked to sack the quarterback. Javonte is being asked to sack the quarterback. When it comes to defensive tackles and all of the other stuff, look. But like I said, they affected the game last week with the pressure they put on Brennan Armstrong. So
that's right.
16 pressures, 1 sack. You might feel like, oh, they should have had more sacks, but they impacted the game with the 16 pressures and probably led to a couple of those interceptions and turnovers.
Yeah.
Michael Campbell says Al Golden said they played the defensive line to keep Brennan Armstrong in the pocket. Yeah, Al Golden still wanted sacks though.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's like the scheme. It's like I heard what Al Golden said. Like Al Golden is not saying like, okay, you guys just dance with the offensive lineman and make sure Brennan Armstrong stays in the pocket and then don't sack him. No, that's not your job as the defensive end is to, as you keep him in the pocket, get his butt on the ground. So that's just like a team playing good defense, but they're not creating turnovers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we're playing great defense, but it sure would be nice to get some turnovers.
Sure would be nice though.
It's like, oh, we pressured the quarterback. We're pressuring the quarterback, but heck, it would be nice to get some sacks.
Would be nice.
maybe some strip fumbles or so. You know, yeah, keep him in the pocket, but at the same time, you can do that other thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the equation. So, um, but like we said, we didn't expect the sack numbers to be.
What, 25 in a season? I would be good if we get 14, 15 sacks. That's pretty good for a team with no superstars. 14 and 15 sacks was at about sack and a half a game.
Well, it depends, right? Because we can talk. People can say, "Yo, I'll take the pressure." I would take the pressures next week against McCord.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I would.
I would take the pressure against Cal McCord. I'm cool with that. Like pressure him, get
Up
him to
the middle.
make mistakes. Absolutely. When USC comes in, pressure ain't enough.
And we
You
gonna have
got
to
to
have
get him on the
guys play
ground.
their job and really
See, Caleb thrives
on getting away from that.
getting away from pressure. You need to get Caleb Williams on the ground.
We running around acting like he got soap on him. We just slipping and sliding and grabbing and reaching and not pulling him on the ground.
The first half in LA last year, they pressured Caleb.
Yeah.
They had tremendous pressure on Caleb. Plenty of times. Dude, he's just a magician, man.
Better than our players. That's what it
He's
was.
just a magician. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Once again, Notre Dame welcomes in Central Michigan to Notre Dame Stadium. Peacock only. 1:30 start. Notre Dame is favored by 34 points. I've seen 35 in certain places, which is insane. Notre Dame is a 7 touchdown favorite. I mean, a 5 touchdown favorite.
That's Sam Hartman effect. And Vegas is finally realizing it's not much this team can't do in order to score. We done hit the long run, 80-yard run touchdown. We done hit the
Mm-hmm.
short little play action touchdown to the tight end. We done threw the ball deep, threw the ball short, ran the ball anywhere on the field, got depth. Central Michigan, who knows if they have depth? They might be good enough just to have 1.5. That right there is gonna lose you the game. So very interesting. Ooh.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Um, man, this sack. I'm not about to argue this sack thing, man. I'm not offended by Greg McElroy and what he said. I'm not. You do not have elite pass rushers on the defensive line. You don't.
You can't name one.
You don't. So if you're a Notre Dame fan and you were offended by what Greg McElroy said, he really didn't say he really didn't even come for Notre Dame with that comment. He didn't. He just didn't. He just didn't. It's because know the people. This is a funny thing, right? I try to tell people. I've been in corporate meetings.
Yep.
I've been in corporate meetings. Like people, Notre Dame fans hate ESPN. ESPN hates Notre Dame. That's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yep.
The furthest thing from the truth. Because number one, if the game is not on NBC, you best be guaranteed that ESPN is picking it up. And from a business standpoint, they always try to find a way to get in bed with Notre Dame.
Always.
Now if you have analysts that went to SEC schools, yeah, analysts that went to Michigan, they're giving their personal opinion. That's not ESPN having a problem with Notre Dame.
No.
That's a Michigan grad having a problem with Notre Dame. That's an Alabama grad having a problem with Notre Dame. That's a Florida grad having a problem with Notre Dame. ESPN literally has given full weekends this year to Notre Dame to come up to Bristol, New York, do interviews, like literally market the program.
No, for real.
And you think ESPN hates Notre Dame? They don't do that for a single school. They might do that for a conference during SEC week, Big Ten week, or ACC week. No other school gets their own private weekend to market the program. ESPN and Notre Dame have a fantastic business relationship. I keep trying to tell you all.
Because ESPN knows that at some point they want Notre Dame. If we stepped away from NBC, I think ESPN will be the first ones on our doorstep. Because we know we could carry ESPN damn near by ourselves.
Easily. I think Notre Dame has the second most game days.
Last year we had 3 of the top 5 best games of the year.
Game day is going to be in South Bend next week.
Yep. Can't miss that one.
It is.
And they're going to be at game day at USC.
I'm sure Kirk and Desmond Howard are going to hate.
Oh, Desmond Howard stayed here.
Desmond Howard went to Michigan.
Yeah, he be hating.
He's supposed to hate.
He be hating like a mug, boy.
Shoot. LL Nation, can you imagine me if they gave me a spot on game day and I had to break down? I don't know what's up with that feedback. Sorry about that.
Oh, is my mic?
Yeah, I think so. Can you imagine me on a set of game day and I had to break down a Michigan game? Dude, I literally would be in the meetings that we have leading up to the show. I literally would tell producers, y'all don't want me to do that. Y'all, you do not want me to preview this Michigan game. I promise you. Not me.
It wouldn't be me previewing. It'd be me talking crazy.
No, because I'm talking trash about Harbaugh. I'm talking trash about the community, the food, everything.
Yeah, all that.
Like, it is what it is, man. I think, like Michael Campbell said, it's a difference between the network and the personalities. And I don't know, dude. I don't know how to tell other people. Like ESPN, which is a company, is not a like ESPN. To say that ESPN hates Notre Dame is irresponsible. Because your athletic director has been in bed with ESPN heavily during his tenure. I can say that. Jack Swarbrick was in bed with ESPN heavily.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Do you think he would have made a deal if he was still here with them?
With ESPN?
Yeah.
ESPN ESPN does not need a deal with Notre Dame. They
Mm,
get every away game. Why would we sweat Notre Dame
mm.
for a deal when we get 5, 6 games because NBC is not broadcasting them?
Exactly.
We get the big ESPN game. We get North Carolina on the road. We get Clemson. We get Florida State on our airways on ABC. We don't we don't need to cough up a big check to Notre Dame. We already get their good games. The
Mm.
USC game was on ABC last year. The Ohio State game was on ABC,
ABC.
not NBC.
Now, if it was a
ESPN,
home game
dude,
that would be NBC.
this year those 2 games on NBC.
Okay.
Those 2 games on NBC. But guess what ESPN gets? Prime time. Clemson.
What was that last part? I'm sorry.
ESPN gets Clemson. Prime time.
Yeah, it's Clemson versus
It's
who that?
it is. I try, dude, from a business standpoint, Notre Dame and ESPN have been in the same bed for years. I don't know whatever this public perception is that makes people feel like ESPN wants Notre Dame. No, they don't. For what? Well, they already have them.
Yeah,
They get
it's like a
they
C
get
package, right?
they get every away game. Every single away game
Hmm.
is either on ABC or ESPN.
I mean, you
Every
can't have
single one.
that. And then
And
home
they
games
get
at NBC.
the Notre Dame bowl game.
ESPN does. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you right
Yeah.
for real.
When Notre Dame makes the playoff, they get Notre Dame. Dude, ESPN does not hate Notre Dame as a network. John Skipper
I mean, no,
and
ESPN loves Notre Dame so much they let Drew Pine be on the ticker.
dude,
Talking
John
about the championship.
Skipper, John Skipper, and your athletic director are very good friends.
There you go. There you go. You just let the cat out the bag. And through great friendship comes great relations.
That's it. The Notre Dame athletic director has great relationships with every top executive at ESPN. Every single one.
Mm. Yeah. I think the best thing for Notre Dame, though, moving forward, especially for Pete Aqua, is to stay in the thin line of we're winning and doing it our way, but keeping those deals very aligned to what Notre Dame can stay in control of. Because in my opinion, it's about control. It's about control, not giving up that access to where Notre Dame can't break off and do their own thing. I think they've been very solid in keeping their own lane with this, but not get overly outside the box, but stay right close to the fire because I think there's a lot of things that Notre Dame can impact, especially if we win. I think us winning a
Mhm.
championship, we make the rules for college football because we would be too big of an independent to be categorizing as a 5 seed every season. It just doesn't sound right, especially if we win a championship.
It's it's just one of those things. It just really is. Like I said, I've been in the building, in the meetings, personally. I've
Per-
heard the conversations about Notre Dame. It's just irresponsible to say the network hates Notre Dame. It just is.
Yeah. ESPN really like us for real.
It's just irresponsible. Matter of fact, if you want to keep it a buck, the SEC and the ACC and the Pac-12 over the last decade have probably had more conversations with Skipper and top executives about why is Notre Dame getting this exposure. They
Exactly.
have they
You
have their own
playing.
network. Why are you putting them on? Why are you covering this game? And in the face of all the other conferences, want Notre Dame not to have so much exposure on ESPN. ESPN has pretty much been like, whatever,
That's it. Yeah. Can't listen to that.
whatever. So I'm telling you that Jack Swarbrick has relationships with the top executives at ESPN. I'm telling you, Jack Swarbrick has been to ESPN Chicago when we were the main hub for Notre Dame football games and basketball.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame has the ultimate leverage with this as well. Just being able to have great relationships with a network you're not with. Totally. I mean,
And if I'm not mistaken, um, several of and this is how it works a lot of times. Jack Swarbrick's relationship with these guys goes back before they even became executives. Sometimes, man, just you muted yourself. Sometimes people just
yeah,
want to be
it's like,
pessimistic, man. No,
yeah.
it makes Notre Dame. I've come to realize this, and this is my personal opinion from observing Notre Dame fans. Notre Dame fans want to be the underdog. They want to be the isolated. They want to feel like everybody hates them and it's them against the world, or it's Notre Dame against the world, right? That when, dude, Notre Dame in the college football landscape is I think that's your mic. I'm not. Notre Dame in the
Jeez.
landscape of college football is not a victim, bro.
No,
They're not.
we're in
And
catbird seat.
people act like fans sometimes act, oh my God, woe is us. Notre Dame is one of the pillars to this day. When it was the BCS system, Notre Dame was in the room. The playoff system, Notre Dame is at the table in the room. Notre Dame is always at the table, divvying up the money
Always. We're the
and
ones.
making
We're the ones passing out the Uno cards.
absolutely. So like
Yeah.
this whole vibe of people don't like us, man, stop. You're one of the Notre Dame is one of the gatekeepers of college football. Things get done in college football because Notre Dame is cool with it.
Notre Dame is like Drake to the music industry saying we're not music industry.
Why do you think Jack Swarbrick said recently in an interview before they played Navy, man, we messed up. We made some bad decisions that led to the current state of football and NIL. This is your Notre Dame athletic director telling you that he's a gatekeeper. He's part of the
Those
decision.
decisions making, yeah.
Notre Dame is a gatekeeper. So what this whole
College
oh
football
no,
don't move without us getting at
they
least an
don't.
opinion.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Because Jack Swarbrick has that weird position of like he's Notre Dame's AD, but he's like the lead head board of some college football NCAA thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that sets the meeting, talk about it, and it's funny and ironic because he's setting meetings for teams and all this stuff that he's not even in. His team is like over to the side, pushed to the side. Now he focused on the landscape of college football. Because he's like, oh, don't worry about Notre Dame. We good over here. We got a TV deal coming, apparel deal coming. We put ours to the side right here. Now all of y'all, let's talk about this reconstruction and how we gonna do these rules
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And they all understand that. It's like no different than Notre Dame being one of the top 5 places to coach. The top 5. I mean, if anywhere outside of Bama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas, USC.
You realize during the BCS era, Notre Dame sucked.
Oh yeah,
The football program sucked,
sucked.
and they
BS is
still
not
were,
good.
and they were still a gatekeeper.
Yeah,
They were still a gatekeeper.
they
So,
say
so I don't. This whole victim feeling about Notre Dame. Oh man, they say negative stuff about us. So what?
that's right.
So what? So what?
So what?
When you're the lone wolf in the jungle that moves to the beat of your own drum, guess what's going to happen?
We're gonna be making some things shake around
People are going to talk about you.
now. Yeah,
That's what happened. When you're LeBron James and you're the best player in the world, guess what's going to happen? Negative press.
if you
When Michael Jordan, negative press. Like, dude,
Michael Jordan didn't have
it's
that
like,
much.
dude, people they pervert the fact that the Notre Dame brand is the strongest and best brand in college football. They allow people being mad, other people being mad about that, right? Because other people want that to be a part of their conferences. And somehow, some way, the fan base twists that as in to take it as everybody hates us. No, that's no. If Notre Dame didn't have value,
Why is it?
yeah, I think that's your mic. If Notre Dame didn't
Why
have
is it?
value, I don't know. If Notre Dame didn't have value, bro, other conferences and teams wouldn't give a darn about Notre Dame.
Right.
They wouldn't talk about Notre Dame. They wouldn't.
It's
They
just the
wouldn't.
fact that when these rule changes come down and these deals happen, they see that little ND insignia at the bottom signature. They like, wait a minute, who signed off on Jack's? What? Why is he
It's,
influential in the?
dude, the brand is so dope that literally Notre Dame fans should feel like Drake. Notre Dame fans should feel like Drake.
We moved the music
And
industry.
when other rappers release a diss track towards Drake, Drake is like, "Come on, man,
You
really?
try. What are you doing?
You you're not even worth my time." And
For
when
real?
other people talk about Notre Dame, that's the way Notre Dame fans should feel. What are you offended for? You're Notre Dame. What else do you expect? You're dope as hell. People are going to come for you. Live in the fact that win, lose, or draw, you're dope. You're a gatekeeper. Live in that. Because other schools can't live in that. They have to win.
Yeah, other schools have to win, and they don't have the flexibility to do the things we can do. I think that's the other thing.
Bro,
Everybody's tied up in some conference.
if Alabama does not win, they don't have a singular voice. Nick Saban has a powerful voice because he wins. Let Alabama fade. Alabama's voice is the SEC conference. They don't have a singular voice. Kirby Smart has a voice now because he's winning. Before Kirby Smart, the conference spoke for Georgia. Dabo is slipping.
Dabo just refuses to jump in that transfer portal.
Dabo is slipping.
Yeah.
The ACC speaks for him if he's not winning. Notre Dame is the only school that will always have a singular voice in college football. And people hate it. They hate it. People hate that.
But that's why it's the either hate it or love it fans of Notre Dame. There is no in between. Teams that either love Notre Dame or you got the people that just cannot like us even if they wanted to. Just due to they don't like our involvement in everything. But hey, listen. We got to make the rules somehow. You know what I mean? We have a huge brand that affects the trajectory of where college football goes, especially from a rule basis, because you got to think, even right now, the NIL deals, rules, and all that is going to be dictated based on what Notre Dame is doing.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame wins the championship, NIL is going to be real finicky.
Yeah.
Because the way if we win one without doing it, that's going to be a major voice in these discussions on what to do with NIL.
Absolutely.
You do it without the bag. Yeah, you may live short term, but we have done it the same way, and look at us. And I think that's just where it's just going to be the double-edged sword of, is it helping us or not? But from a standpoint of where Notre Dame is in the college football landscape, we're in the catbird seat.
And this is the funny thing. People are, because I'm trying to find the right word, because I can probably relate this to terrestrial radio. What do I always say? It makes no sense to bicker with other Notre Dame outlets and media because there's way too much meat on the bone.
Right.
You know why it's too much, way too much meat on the bone? Notre Dame fans will literally go listen to and watch every podcast that talks Notre Dame.
Right.
Every single one.
Right. Every single one.
Every single one.
And I think
Regardless of whether or not those podcasts are being positive or negative. They're going to watch the positive one, they're going to watch the negative one, and then go to the message board.
Go to the message boards, yeah.
And post something about the one they disagree with.
Yeah.
Post something about the one that they disagree with.
But they're going to watch the content.
And snap. They're going to watch the content. That's why it's laughable. It's laughable to sit up here and talk about ESPN, which is funny to me because all I see on social media, ESPN sucks. Their talent sucks. This sucks.
Man, they do say everything sucks about ESPN. I see that all the time.
And every month you look at the numbers and they're killing Fox Sports. They're killing every other competitor. Yeah. So somebody has to be watching ESPN. As much as everybody's sitting there talking about ESPN sucks and their talent sucks and this person is this and this person is that. They're raking in the money and killing in ratings every month.
Every month.
Every single month. Every single month. So obviously, they must be doing something right to attract the eyes. But they're doing something right to attract.
So big.
They're doing something right to attract the eyes, dude.
You got ESPN Spanish, ESPN,
Dude, if you watch a college football live with Sam Acho and Greg McElroy, why do you expect a fair POV on Notre Dame? Why? He's not, those people are not obligated to give you a fair POV. Their job is to say things that are hot, that grab the attention, and that will go viral. That's the business. That's the business. It's a perfect example. Perfect example. Because I dislike when people try to compare us to Irish Breakdown. Right? Like
Right.
literally, I've been on the message board over at IB, and people will be like, I can't stand Lucky Lefty because I don't get this and I don't get what I get over Irish Breakdown. We don't want to be like them.
Yeah, true.
We've never tried to be like them. We don't do charts and breaking down. We don't do that. We do us. We do us. And God bless them. God bless Locked On Notre Dame. God bless every other Notre Dame podcast that gives content because Notre Dame fans win. Whether it's a positive show about Notre Dame or a negative show.
So,
But no one is obligated to be positive about Notre Dame when they do a show. Not even us. That's not our obligation. Our obligation is to get topics and talk about it the way we discuss it and have fun and have a discussion. That's it.
that's simple.
So people will tell you that Notre Dame, they're like, Notre Dame is like a stepchild in college football. What? Man, please. You underestimate the power of Notre Dame in college football.
Yeah, we like the first child, the favorite child. What do you say, the golden child? Golden Dome child? You know, all that. We the child your parents say be like.
And like I said, I didn't see what Greg McElroy said. But based upon what Andre said, I didn't have a problem with it because we said similar things over the summer about the defensive line. We said similar things. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to make an observation. Like you just said, dude, you just broke down the film of Bear Buckner. You weren't over the top impressed, but you pointed out some positives, you pointed out some negatives.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, some fans could feel like, oh, Malik was hating on Bear Buckner. He gave his assessment.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do, man.
It's just an opinion. Shit.
And I guess I'm trying to give encouragement to Notre Dame fans to say, man, look, stop with all that.
Rah.
Everything has to be positive about my team. I don't care. I don't care.
Just gonna tell the truth. That's what
I
we do.
don't care. We had Lucky Lefty podcast. Heck, I can go listen to 10 other Notre Dame podcasts if I want to hear something. I can chop it up on a message board. If I just want to hear 89, 90% positive about Notre Dame, I know where to go. But to be mad at ESPN when a former Texas player and a former Alabama player are talking about Notre Dame, if you expect positivity from them, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because the vast majority of the time, that you're not going to get that. You're not. You're not.
You definitely not get that.
ESPN is not stupid. Marcus, you see Marcus Freeman on ESPN a whole lot more than you did Brian Kelly, don't you?
Whole lot more. Whole lot more. Step in the right direction.
A whole lot more. You know why? He's personable. He brings ratings, which in turn brings money. It's good for business. So if you were mad because you felt like Notre Dame didn't get a lot of coverage under Brian Kelly, your coach was boring.
Basically. Or I wouldn't say
The
boring.
program under him was dry,
He was more
very
uninterested.
dry. And you didn't have a star quarterback. What are we talking about? They didn't cover Notre Dame. You didn't have a star quarterback. Your coach was dry, and the program was dry. Yeah, you won games.
Like it would be terrible if we got
I'm
Brian
just
Kelly
telling you,
doing
I'm
this.
just bringing that's the business. I'm sorry, that's the business. People might not want to
It,
hear it, but that's the business.
it definitely would be terrible if Brian Kelly was at school with this NIL thing going on. Because on top of us, the obstacles to not give NIL already, Brian Kelly just get more lazy. He probably go from regular golf to putt golf. He just trying to, pickleball or something. He's just trying to find something to
Bruh,
do. He's not going to compete. He's not going to take the steps to address it. Because look at him now. His
it
transfers are
is.
he get FCS transfers all the time. Why you get on these FCS transfers?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This is a great discussion too. It's a great discussion because it just shows you the different emotions of Notre Dame fans. I don't give a darn about recruiting rankings, man. I don't care. I don't care. Like you can sit up here and talk about, how Notre Dame is covered, and it really affects recruits. No, you know what affects recruits. You know why Chicago kids are down on Notre Dame? Because Notre Dame and the coaches haven't put in the work in Chicago. It ain't got nothing to do with it. Stop blaming. ESPN has nothing to do with that. Zero. I'm talking to the Chicago kids. Has nothing to do with podcasts, magazines, articles, ESPN.
Hell, Michigan is talking to the kids. I know that.
You want your flag in Chicago? Come plant it. Put in the legwork. That's how that happens. Use excuses like network TV and other affects recruits. Nah, bro. Win games and put in the legwork. Then do that. Win September 23rd, kick Ohio State's butt, and then put in the legwork and watch things change in Chicago, regardless of what ESPN does.
Quick. Change quick. Because our influence is crazy. We go down there and show face and put that little polo on with the ND sign. It's going to go crazy.
That's it.
And it's just a little effort. Is what? 80 miles away?
That's it. That's it, man.
Slide on down Notre Dame.
But it just shows you, like, man, looking at the chat, and I love it. It just shows you the different emotions that people have towards the brand as a fan, how they feel, and you can get caught up in certain things. Man, Notre Dame is a gatekeeper in college football, bro.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is a gatekeeper. And I can't speak for what's at the core of the relationships that exist between Jack Swarbrick and exec. I can't speak to that. I just know they have relationships. It could be a college relationship. It could be a financial relationship. It could be a myriad of different types of relationships. But you best believe Notre Dame is at the table. And they do not get left out. Lucky Lefty podcast. Left, I told you so.
Okay, you was
I
talking
told
about
you so. Here is Al Golden talking about Drake Bowen.
Before he got injured, so it's not going to take me long to get comfortable again. I think the kid's a winner. He's tough. He's a competitor. It means a lot to him. He studies. And that's usually the biggest hurdle for young guys, the ability to play with poise and execute under pressure, even though you may only be hearing a call for the third, fourth, fifth time, as opposed to some of the older guys who've had it for a couple of years. So I think that's where Drake does a really good job in his preparation and his studying and really devoting a lot of time, making a lot of sacrifices to get it right. So I'm excited about him.
Remember, everybody was talking about Kingston,
Yeah.
right? Oh, he could start as a freshman. Oh, yeah. And I sat up here and said, so y'all think Drake Bowen is y'all think Jaden Osbury is just about to let this dude come in and start as a freshman? And remember, everybody, other people on other shows were like, man, Drake Bowen is slow. I was like, all right. Okay. All right, okay.
Yeah. Come on now.
That's your offense. That's your defensive coordinator that was asked, man, when are you gonna be comfortable with Drake stop playing? He said, I was comfortable before he got hurt. He just got hurt. He ain't hurt no more.
He gonna be in there.
He ain't hurt no more. He also intimated that Drake knows the playbook better than some guys that's been here for years. Did you catch that part? Oh, he hears it for the second, third time, and he compared to other guys that's been here for years, he gets it. It means something to him. He's a leader. He's a winner. You hear the words that Al Golden is using?
He's the next man in. That's what he want to say.
Let me tell you something, man. Let's see, Drake Bowen visited every recruiting weekend.
Did his homework.
Every recruiting weekend. Ask me where Drake was the Sunday after every recruiting weekend. Ask me where he was, Left.
The gym.
He was in the weight room with Matt Bates.
Yep.
And he wasn't even on the squad yet. He would visit, rock with the recruits, wake up Sunday morning, and go work out in Notre Dame's weight room.
He's different. That's what that recruiting does. You done got him right. Got players that want to play football.
So when everybody was like, oh, man, I heard he's slow down. All right. I told you. The dude's different.
Him and Jeremiah Love, or I think Aeneas Williams is different. I'm big on Aeneas Williams. I think he's going to have a huge, versatile impact. And I just don't know how they're going to play everybody. I think it just makes it so much tougher. The recruiting classes are getting better. But, man, I think Aeneas Williams would be similar to the effect of.
Hey, bro, look here, man. I look. That was the look. If you think, and I'm not saying the evaluation, because I think it was Goolsby. I think it was Goolsby that made the statement about Kingston, saying, he was good enough to start as a freshman.
Sorry.
And I don't disagree. First of all, Mike Goolsby played the position. So I'm not about to disagree with his assessment of Kingston. My point was Drake and that spot is occupied. Like Drake isn't about to just give that spot away. Like I've watched Drake during the spring. I watched him and Jaden Osbury side by side make plays on the second team defense against the top offensive line consistently. Notre Dame has a really bright future in that linebacker room. Extremely bright. Extremely bright. With those two dudes next to each other, man. And once again, Michael Campbell, dude, that's your conspiracy theory that you talk about, man. All of that stuff you talking about means nothing in Chicago. Nothing. Might mean something down in Texas, might mean something down in Florida. Chicago kids don't give a darn about what ESPN says about Notre Dame or what articles are written. Know what they care about? Whether or not Notre Dame is winning and whether or not Notre Dame is doing their due diligence in the city. Period. That's it. All that other stuff, recruiting rankings, and all of that other stuff, I don't care if Notre Dame is great. 1, 4, 7, 11. Are you adding talent? Are you making the roster more talented? And the answer to that is yes. Notre Dame is a more talented roster than they were 2 years ago. That's it. Mm. Luke Kirkwood, you already talked about this Bear and Deuce situation we got going on. How good does it feel to have two top quarterbacks fighting over a spot to play on the team as a fan base? It's part of the elevation of that quarterback room. And I would give Gino Gaduli a huge uh, tip of the cap to say, yo, good job. You're making an imprint as a quarterback coach, especially in recruiting. No one is saying, this is my point. Once again, this is me and my interpretation. On one hand, you talk about the quality of recruits, and then on the other hand, you complain about the rankings. If Notre Dame is bringing in high quality recruits, who cares what they're ranked? That's my point. I don't care what the ranking is. Cam Williams has been undervalued from a recruiting standpoint since Notre Dame got his commitment. He can stay that way. I don't care. I know he's an impact receiver once he sets foot on campus. I know that. I don't need rankings to validate that. It's like, why do you want to feel validated by rankings when you're getting dudes? I don't need rankings. I know he's a 5-star. He can stay a 4-star. He can stay ranked where he is. I know a 5-star receiver is showing up in South Bend next year. I know that. Notre Dame knows that. Who cares where he's ranked? No one. No. I don't care. On 3 can continue to drop him. Anybody else? I don't care. Luke, man, Zaxby's only gave you a couple of pieces of things of sauce. Last time I had Zaxby's, I think I was in Mississippi in May. That's crazy. Before we get out of here, man, it was a great show today. Let's talk about holding stays. Now, I told you I was doing my whole told you so thing. We did the tight end preview, and I said Holden Stays would have 30 receptions and would be like big in the red zone, like touchdowns. That was my prediction. Well, Jared Parker talking about the damage Holden Stays is starting to create with the offense.
It would be, you certainly hope it's not a surprise of success. I think that it happens. The tough part about this life we all live is we want it right now. And as we've talked about as a program, and certainly from Coach Freeman and us on this side, that stuff takes time. And I think it's just been a lot of work by Holden to trust the work he's put in the room and put himself in a position to where the ball kind of finds you, and that's what happened for him last game, and certainly happy for him and for our offense for those things to happen.
Let me start by saying this, man. When we come in, especially when it's a hot day, a nice day, we walk through the inside facility and we walk outside to the far field to sit in the bleachers so we can view practice. And as we walk out and we walk through the doors that are open, normally the tight ends are right there to the left up against the wall. Notre Dame has some of the biggest tight ends. They are monstrous, man. I'm talking about just monstrous. So when you talk about Holden Stays coming on and Eli Raritan, who's bigger than him, like, yo, that situation, man, with that tight end room, yo, I'm telling you, man, the talent on this roster, which I agree, the talent is, but left, we bring you back to get your 3 keys to a victory.
Yeah, I got the got the meetings and stuff. Good grief.
I'm just like this, man. Like, I was just telling the Notre Dame fans, I don't care about rankings, dog. I
No,
don't
not
care
this
about
early.
recruiting rank. I don't, man. I don't care about recruiting rankings. This because the recruiting websites are tied into networks,
Of course.
which are tied into conferences.
Of
So
course.
I expect biases
You're gonna have to have them.
when it comes to Notre Dame recruits.
That's
I
why they
expect it.
tank all of our recruits as soon as they get to Notre Dame. As soon as they commit, they go from a 5-star to 4.5-star. Like how you drop? You committed to a top program and you drop in rankings?
And it's all good because I understand the
And
game.
that's why they'll never give us the #1 recruiting spot. No matter
No.
how good we recruit, we'll always be top 5 to 10. We'll never be 1, 2, or 3 because they, Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State pay too much money.
But you have to keep Notre Dame in the top 10. You got to keep them in the top 10
We're
now.
gonna be in the top 10 for sure.
Because you got to keep the Notre Dame fans' eyes connected.
That's
You got
right.
to keep those subscriptions.
And they like to play with us now. They'll put us at 2,
Absolutely.
have us at 3 to the
They'll
end,
keep us in the top 3 all spring.
all the way until we
All
somehow
spring.
drop below Washington or something. You be like, how this
Absolutely.
team? Whatever.
All right, Malik's 3 keys to a dub, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com.
Man, the 3 keys is put a nail in the coffin early. I think that just has to be the staple for these games that we're supposed to win. Put these guys away early. We need 28 points in the first half, going back to one of my keys in the first game, because you don't want to have these guys hanging around, because this is a team that's coached well, that if you give them a chance, they'll take it. So this is an opportunity for us to get out early, and it's another game for us to try to get our young guys in by the end of the third, fourth quarter. The second key is let's play clean football in the special teams area. Let's try to change field position. Let's work on how far we can kick, on range wise, getting ready for the Ohio State game. Let's find ways to try to create change in the punt game, in the kickoff game. Let's try to tackle within the 20. Because Ohio State special teams is really, really, really good. They've always had really good special teams. So for us, we need to be cleaned up on our special teams, not only for this week, but heading into next week. It needs to just be on point. And the last key, I want to see a receiver go over 100 yards. I got to see it. Put somebody over 100 yards just to let people know that this is we can go this direction if we need to. And if you're trying to bear down and play man, we got something for that. So this is the game to show that and abuse it. If we got the matchup, keep taking it. Keep taking it. Matter of fact, we need a couple receivers over 100 yards. That's the key. Give me 2 receivers over 100. Special teams cleaned up. Try to make some change in special teams. Change the field. Try to steal possession maybe. Work on the special teams, getting ready for next week. And the first thing is 28 points for the first half. We got to put them away early. Don't let them hang around, and try to get our young guys in by the end of the third and fourth quarter.
Lucky Lefty podcast. And then, like I said, man, there's a wide range of feelings and emotions that people have when it comes to Notre Dame talent and recruiting. And you're welcome to feel the way you feel. I'm trying to tell you that anxiety of feeling like the world is against us and having different theories and all of that stuff.
Let it fall to the wayside.
Man, if you want to stress about that, feel free.
Stress about our situational football. That's what you got to stress about.
Feel free. Like, there's a Keon Keeley discussion going on right now as Malik goes back to his meeting. Keon Keeley's mother told you why he left Notre Dame. Keon's goal was to make it to the NFL. That's it. His goal is not to get a degree and go to classes and all the stuff. His goal is to make it to the NFL. And we feel like Alabama is the best path for him to get to the NFL. Period. That's it. That's it. And if Notre Dame had defensive linemen that were first rounders, like Alabama has lined up for the past 10 years, they would have been able to counter what Alabama did in the recruiting. Real simple. Has nothing to do with rankings, articles. It's real simple. That's why I said you want to change the narrative. Start winning big games. Start beating good teams. That's it. That's the first step. We can sit up here and talk all that other stuff. Next Saturday in Notre Dame Stadium is the first step of Marcus Freeman going to the next stage of this program and changing the narrative. Next Saturday night. That's it. Not on 3, not 2 and 4, 247. None of that. There's nothing more impactful than September 23rd in Notre Dame Stadium. That's what recruits around the world will be watching. That's the biggest impact Notre Dame can make. With it, Colorado is the hottest thing going right now. You know why? They walked into TCU and beat TCU. That's why. It's not just their coach. It's what they're doing on the field. And if they happen to beat Oregon or USC in the coming weeks, they're going to take the program to the next level. Notre Dame has the same opportunity in this stretch where they get Ohio State, Duke, USC. You beat Ohio State and USC at home, you don't have to worry about on 3 and 22, 247. I promise you. I promise you. Beat Ohio State with Deuce Knight in the stands next week and watch what happens. Beat Ohio State with Justin Scott possibly in the stands next week and watch what happens. Nothing about rankings and articles. The leg work, man. Put in the leg work and actually win some big games. Lucky Lefty Podcast. My prediction, Notre Dame, 52. Central Michigan, 10. Notre Dame, 52. And Central Michigan, 10. My brother Antoine Porchrideau, I appreciate that. To everyone that has given their well wishes about me and my health, love you guys. Thank you for continuing to follow us, lock in with us, and to support the podcast. Left, we will do our post-game show Sunday because Left will be traveling back from Buffalo on Saturday. So Lucky Lefty Podcast will do their post-game show on Sunday, and I will be on the Irish Breakdown post-game show immediately after the game. So appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the game. Remember, it's Peacock only. Peacock only. Maybe you can get a trial to watch the game. But enjoy it. Central Michigan, Jim McElwain, Charlie Fry, they bring their team in to face Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish, 2:30 Eastern time. For Left, I'm Shaun, man. Have a great weekend, but most of all, spend it different.